The desert night felt older than time itself. A soft wind crawled across the dunes, carrying whispers that no one could quite make out. At the edge of a crumbling stone watchtower, half buried by centuries of shifting sands, drive. Elias Martin knelt beside a fragile wooden box. His hands trembled as he lifted its lid. Inside lay a scroll that should not have existed. The parchment looked untouched by age. No cracks, no fading, no dryness. It was as if the writer had sealed it only moments ago, though everyone knew this tower had been abandoned since before the time of the earliest kings. The team stared in stunned silence. The desert was brutal, anything organic should have turned to dust long ago. But this scroll seemed preserved by something beyond nature. As lanterns flickered in the cold night, the scholars gathered around a large table. They carefully unrolled the scroll, expecting it to crumble. Instead, it unfurled smoothly, giving off a faint, warm glow. The ink shimmered like liquid obsidian. Elias traced a single line and felt a jolt travel up his arm. He quickly pulled his hand back, shaken but unable to explain what he'd felt. The first phrases translated easily, yet made no sense. The scroll described events that were happening right now, not centuries ago, not in the future, but in that exact moment. It spoke of a night when the desert trembles without wind, and mountains echoing with voices not of men. At first, the team dismissed it as symbolic writing. But then, a low rumble shivered through the sand. Papers fluttered, lanterns rattled on their hooks. The air remained still, no wind, no storm, but the ground beneath them vibrated as if something underground had awakened. Several researchers exchanged terrified glances. The prophecy was unfolding word for word. A young intern whispered a prayer under his breath. Elias tried to calm his team, but inside his chest his heart pounded with a fear he hadn't felt since childhood. And then it happened. A deep, haunting hum rose from the earth, soft at first, then growing until it filled the camp like a choir of distant, unseen voices. It was beautiful, and horrifying. People covered their ears, but the sound wasn't just heard, it was felt, vibrating through bones, through thought, through breath. No one spoke, no one moved. The lines on the scroll shimmered once more, as if reacting. And the desert trembled again. The humming stopped so suddenly that it felt as if the world itself had been muted. Every lantern flame froze in place, not flickering, not swaying, held perfectly still in the unmoving air. The silence that followed was worse than the sound, thick and unnatural, like the desert was holding its breath. "Doctor." Elias stepped forward with the scroll still in his hands. His voice shook as he read the next line aloud, barely above a whisper. "When the earth falls silent, the hidden doorway shall open." The final word hadn't even left his lips when a thunderous crack split the night. Dust exploded upward as a massive slab of stone, one that had been part of the tower's foundation for thousands of years, began to slide backward on its own. There was no machinery, no human force behind it. The rock moved as if guided by invisible hands. A narrow passage revealed itself beneath the tower, glowing with a golden light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Not bright, but alive. Warm, calling. The researchers stood frozen in a mixture of awe and terror. Cameras clicked. Video recorders shook in trembling hands. No one wanted to be the first to step forward, yet no one wanted to turn away either. Curiosity was wrestling fear, and curiosity was winning. 3 of the braver team members strapped on headlamps and approached the entrance. The glow washed over their faces, giving their skin an otherworldly radiance. Elias didn't stop them, he couldn't. Something deep inside him whispered that this discovery was meant to happen. The passage walls were lined with carvings unlike any known script, symbols that looked carved and polished at the same time, as though the stone had melted into shape. The deeper they went, the louder their radios crackled. Voices faded, instruments malfunctioned, something in the air distorted every signal. The team emerged into a chamber so vast their lights didn't reach the far walls. The golden glow was stronger here, illuminating carvings of towering celestial figures locked in battle against shadowy forms. Wings, swords, stars, and flames, an entire cosmic history etched into stone by a civilization no one knew existed. At the center of the chamber stood a single pedestal carved from a stone smoother than marble. It held no object, no relic, just an indentation shaped like a starburst. Inscriptions spiraled around it, repeating a single phrase in dozens of variations. "The keeper of the light will return." But return what? Or return from where? Before they could decipher more, the golden light swelled, brighter, then brighter still, until the chamber felt like the inside of a sunrise. The researchers stumbled backward, shielding their eyes. Their radios crackled violently, then burst into static. When they finally staggered back to the surface, gasping for air, they found the entire camp gathered around the entrance. Reporters had already arrived. Scientists from other teams pushed forward, demanding answers. Elias looked at the glowing passage, now shining even stronger than before. He swallowed hard. "We don't know what we found," he said quietly. And that was the truth. No theory could explain the scroll. No logic could explain the stone door. No science could explain the golden light that was growing brighter every minute. As if someone, or something, was awakening beneath the earth.